Hey, gluten freeers from all over the world. This is Flo, the founder of The World is Gluten Free, here at our very first gluten free couples interview. Can you guys introduce yourself to gluten freeers? Let them know your name, where you're from, and your gluten free association.
Hi everybody, my name is Nandi Cohen. I have celiac disease. I was diagnosed in 2004, so I've had it for 8 years, and I am from North Carolina.
All right.
And my name is Rafael. I'm a boyfriend, and I'm from the Bronx.
True. So
and you don't have celiac.
I don't have celiac.
He doesn't have celiac. So tell me, Rafi, what did you know about celiac disease, say like 5, 10 years ago?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Zero.
So if someone said to you celiac disease, your response would have been
Gesundheit.
nothing. Okay, right.
Gesundheit.
And Nandi, you're saying that you were diagnosed in '04. So tell us, what was your experience before being diagnosed and your exposure to celiac disease, if any, beforehand?
Well, I actually did know about celiac since I was a young girl because there was a little girl in my Hebrew school who had celiac, and I remember feeling really sorry for her because she could never eat pizza or eat cake or cookies, and I thought, wow, she has such a sad life. And never would I have thought that like 15 years later I would be diagnosed with the exact same thing.
Wow. So tell me, what brought about your diagnosis? What were your symptoms?
Well, I never felt anything peculiar until I was about 20 years old. And I went on several study abroad trips overseas. I was in Senegal for a summer, and the following summer I was in Mexico. And I got a lot of unpleasant parasites and was never the same after that. And then I went to the doctors. They didn't know it was wrong. And finally, after maybe 2 years of questioning, the doctor finally figured it out. I got tested. I was a classic case. And then everything started to make sense. I never liked bread. I never liked beer. I felt like kind of the weird odd man out college student who didn't like keg parties.
Right, right.
It all kind of made sense. Everything sort of fell into place after that, but it certainly wasn't easy to switch over.
Got it. So, Rafi, you didn't know about celiac disease or the gluten-free diet 5, 10 years ago. So, was your introduction via Nandi?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember probably like one of the first times that me and Nandi were hanging out. I was trying to be nice and like cook something, and I wanted to make show off like my steak sandwich recipe. So like I started cooking up these steaks, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna put in some bread, hook it up, and I offered one to Nandi, and she was like, no, I don't want any. So I just figured she was like just one of those people who don't eat, and I was kind of worried.
Yeah, he thought I was anorexic or something. I didn't even want to get into it. I just saw that bread and the sandwich. I was like, And then I thought to myself, man, if we start dating, he really has no idea what he's got himself into.
So tell me then, okay, you didn't want to bring it up to him because you were like, what, it's too much to talk about?
Yeah, it was like too heavy of a subject. I had bad experiences in the past trying to explain it to significant others, so I was like, let me try to hold off as long as possible. But unfortunately, it's like when you're in a relationship, the first thing you do together is eat. So it's pretty soon after.
So how soon after before you finally realized, like, okay, he needs to know why I'm not eating these things?
I don't remember, but I think I started explaining it little by little. Do you remember?
No, you just kind of like, I can't have bread. And I was like, oh, all right, well, we could have like something else. And then it just didn't work out either.
Yeah, or like, I can't have bread. Oh, okay, you want a beer? And then it's like, well, I can't have a beer. Oh, okay, you want to get Chinese food? Well, I actually can't eat Chinese food.
So all the while, Rafi, what are you thinking as she's like slowly taking away every single thing you suggest?
I mean, once it finally hit me, I was like, I think like the question I asked was like, well, what can you eat? Because for me, like all the other options were ruled out. Like I didn't know what she was eating at all.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, once I like figured it out, it was a lot easier. But
So there wasn't, being that you didn't know about celiac or the gluten free lifestyle beforehand, Rafi, you didn't have a misconception that was cleared up once learning that she had to be gluten free.
no, I mean, I didn't really understand the disease too much, so it was kind of like I thought it was more like a diet, and just a diet. Like I didn't understand like the reasons behind it and like the reaction that happens. So it was just kind of like it seemed more like it was a by choice thing.
Then
it was like a game changer.
How did you come to fully understand that it's much more than just a diet?
I think like when one of those occasions when we went to go try and eat, like I actually like put myself in her shoes and I was like, okay, well, where can she eat? And then I started looking like through restaurants and stuff to like find places that were gluten free, and it was only like a handful I could find. And then like most of the places that I already had experience with, she could not eat at all. So it was just like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. So we started cooking together a lot because also there were so few restaurants that were near us. So living uptown and in the Bronx, the closest place we could get to that was gluten free is the Upper East Side. That's making this big schlep all over town. We would just start cooking together, and I think that also helped Rafi to really pick up on what I can eat, what I can't, what ingredients to look out for, and things like that.
Yeah. Plus, it wasn't as expensive.
Yeah.
So actually, it was kind of cheaper than going out to all these restaurants.
Yeah, it was way more fun too. I mean, it brought up another set of challenges too. Like once I realized how wheat was like in everything, or like gluten in general was in so many like products that we had to like completely make everything from scratch practically.
Well, you guys have been doing it.
Cooks.
Yep.
Say it again. Say it again.
It made us better cooks because it meant that we weren't using a lot of prepackaged stuff. We were really doing everything from scratch.
What are some of your favorite dishes that you guys have learned over the years?
It was like one of the first things that we cooked. I think like we had like pork chops and
Ooh.
Pork chops, yuca.
Yeah, that was it.
Plátanos. So that's the other thing is that we both share a Caribbean background. Rafi's Puerto Rican and I'm half Cuban. So a lot of the traditional dishes that we were raised with are naturally gluten-free. Just with minor adjustments. So we could make black beans and rice. We could make plátanos. We could make the beef stew, arroz con pollo. And, we could eat our own stuff. We just had to be careful about little things like canned chicken broth or bouillon cubes, things like that.
Maggie, those things, yeah.
Yes, that Maggie. Evil.
Which is such a part of so much of our, like the Caribbean food. They throw in a couple Maggies just for good measure. Yeah.
Put it in the water.
They sip it for tea. So tell me, when you guys are understanding what it means to be gluten free and celiac, does that mean that you eat gluten free as well, Rafi, or is there like separate cooking that's being done?
I mean, at first I was on like a gluten fast, like out of solidarity.
The good old days.
And then like I needed a sandwich. I needed a sandwich in my life.
For your soul.
Yeah, for my soul.
I felt so bad because he kept saying how his coworkers would be like, Rafi, you look mad skinny. What happened to you? And he's like, it's gluten free. So I started feeling guilty because I felt like I didn't want him to be subjected to that.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it did like keep me eating better. Like I stopped eating out as much, and I was eating like a lot of like prepared meals. But then I ended up losing weight. I looked kind of good though afterwards. So thank you.
Not to toot your own horn, but you were impressing folks. So Rafi, now that it's clear that you're a gluten free ally, you've gone through the trenches with Nandi in some ways, and also went on a gluten-free diet for a while. Like, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting to date someone who's gluten-free as far as how they could be an ally to that person in their life?
I would say, like, really, like, just try to put yourself in the person's shoes and, like, pretend that you have celiac. And, like, what would your options be? Like, what would you be able to eat? Where would you be able to, like, get your food from? What, like, some of your favorite dishes that you could still prepare? And what are the substitutes that you could put in? Because, like, a lot of times, instead of using flour, you can use cornmeal. And, like, things like that. So look for the substitutes as well.
How about
and it doesn't mean that it, like, takes away from, like, your old experiences. It's just, like, you have to adjust to it.
And you found it to be an adjustment that could be done?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the most part, we still keep a gluten-free kitchen, except for the occasional bread loaf, which we keep in a stainless steel safe.
It's a bread box. It's so dramatic.
Is it your idea, Nandi, the bread box?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. But Nandi, what advice would you give someone who is gluten-free, celiac, and is dating someone who knows nothing about the gluten-free lifestyle?
Well, I guess just to be honest and upfront and to really explain that it's a medical condition and that, I guess try to see the positive side of it and show, sort of what Rafi's saying, what you can have rather than emphasizing what you can't. And I guess to be really explicit too, because I think maybe I was kind of unclear in the beginning because I kind of wanted to let him know slowly how serious it was, but I think that if you feel comfortable with it, it's better to just lay it out all on the table. And then if you are with someone not very long and they're like, you know what, I can't do this, then you've saved yourself a lot of time.
True. Very good advice. Very good advice. Tell us any experiences, crazy lessons, or anything you've learned together on this gluten-free journey.
Okay, I'll go. I think you have a good story, but I'll go with my sappy one first. I just think that having a partner who supports you and who really gets it and really has your back, I think it is absolutely essential. If I didn't have Rafi supporting me and sharing this lifestyle with me, helping me cook, helping me get groceries, I would not be as healthy as I am. I would be compromising my health. And so I think that it's absolutely essential for your partner to be there with you along the way and to really get it and also to advocate for you. So if you're with a group of friends who maybe don't get it, I can speak for myself, but I also know that Rafi can also be sort of my spokesperson and stick up for me if someone's like, oh, that's made up, or, oh, you can have a little flour. He'll chime in and be like, no, actually she can't. And I can't tell you how much that has changed my health and my well-being. So.
Oh my God. Beautiful. How about you, Rob?
Man, I can't follow that.
I mean, I could.
Can do the funny story.
The violins are playing, but I can make them go down a little bit.
Which story?
The face story.
Oh yeah.
It's his favorite one.
Yeah, no, like Nandi was saying, like sometimes it puts you into like awkward social situations, and I think when she was first explaining to me like what were like some of the ramifications of like gluten free, I was like, what do you mean? What's gonna happen if you eat like a slice of bread? Are you gonna die? And I was like, oh, that's what happens. Well, that's not that. Oh, okay, no, that's kind of bad.
Right.
So I had to understand a little bit better. But I think the first time that I realized was when we tried to pick out a restaurant that we thought was safe. And our waitress assured us that there was no flour or any kind of like products in the food. And we were.
I actually don't think we asked. I think we were just assuming.
We asked, but then I think she just didn't know from the chef or something. Yeah, so then like we're sitting there, we're enjoying our meal, rice and beans with some like roasted pork, and then like Nandi just like starts like spacing out, and I'm like, what's going on? You don't like the food? Like, what's going on? And she was like, I can't feel my face. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, are you on drugs? Like, what?
This was early on in the relationship.
Yeah, this was pretty early.
So then, like, she gets up and, like, you know, she has to take a breather and stuff. So, like,
I kind of just stumbled out of the restaurant and left him with the check.
Good move.
We had to follow up and like figure out what happened.
Yeah.
So
that
what
was
happened?
One of the first times I realized that it was serious.
So Nandi, there was in fact gluten in your food?
There must have been, because my first reaction if I do get gluten is usually like neurological kind of the whole brain fog thing. So before I get a stomach ache, the first thing that happens is I start feeling kind of numb and kind of woozy, and that's exactly what was happening. And I could see the look of panic on his face, and I was trying to sort of play it down, but
you couldn't feel your face.
That was definitely the wake-up call. That was definitely kind of that turning point where he started to really understand what this is about, and I think we sort of reached a higher level of shared consciousness about the issue.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And I want to say, not only are we grateful for your sharing your experiences as a gluten-free couple, we also want to know how, if in any way, we could support anything dope that you're doing in your life.
Yeah.
Oh, like what, Nandi?
No. Where are we living right now?
Well, we're actually very far away from the Bronx and Manhattan. We're up in Dutchess County in Wasaig, New York. And I guess, you know, as a result of like some of the stuff, looking into food and some of the issues behind that, we started farming this year. So we're doing a farm project up here in Wasaig, New York, and we're going to be selling organic food so people could be able to cook their own meals in the Bronx and Brooklyn. So
how can we spread the word? What's the best way to connect people to what you're doing?
Come visit us in the farmers markets, which will be up in June in Project Plaza in the Bronx.
Okay.
You want to say where that is? Project Plaza?
It's on 130. 141st and St. Anne's in the Bronx, off the 6th line, and yeah. I don't know. We're working on it. You can also follow me on Twitter. We'll put it up.
Okay, cool. What's your Twitter name?
Rafa Flocka.
Rafa Flocka.
Underscore Flocka.
Underscore, and of course, naturally. Nandi, what's going on in your world? How can we support your gluten-free system?
Well, I just finished my PhD in Friday. And I will be starting as assistant professor of Latin American art at Cornell in the fall. So I don't know how you could support me, but I guess you could go to my classes if you go to Cornell.
We love that. We love that. And are you also on Twitter?
Yes, I am. I am Cuban Jew 82.
Cuban Jew 82. Okay, yeah. So we have a food justice warrior bringing healthy organic options to people in urban areas, particularly in New York City. And we have here a professor at Cornell University, together united in their solidarity in the Gluten Free Movement. Sounds good. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.